So I do
Well,
have a
Richmond
fun.
Park.
Yeah,
You went to
yeah, I
Richmond
do.
Park for summer camp?
Yes, and we used to go to Glendale Baptist Church.
Your mom
Okay.
just said Goulds. She said Goulds Park though.
She don't remember. It was Richmond. I remember Richmond.
Well, I got a Goulds pool story for you.
I'm ready. Tell me.
Okay, we
You ready
ready.
right now?
We
Okay,
ready.
real quick. I went for lifeguard training. I was like 20 years old to the YMCA in Homestead. They said, "Well, you got to go to Goulds Pool to do your lifeguard training." I said, "Whatever." So I go to Gould. I ain't scared of Goulds. I've been all through Goulds or whatever. So I go to Goulds Pool. I pull up and I go in. I'm the only white boy there. It's a black instructor, 20 black boys, and that don't phase me none. But I'm like, all right, how do y'all feel about me being here? I don't really care. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, okay. I go in and we start the training. I got board shorts on. I'm trying to do what I do, whatever. These cats got jean shorts on with a belt jumping in the pool. It's rocks at the bottom of Gould's pool. It's bullet casings and shells all around. I'm like, I'm about to do lifeguard training in the hood right now. I did that for like 3 weeks, bro. I never forget that man said something to me. I'll never forget for the rest of my life, bro. I was in there about to die, chest burning. I don't know we were doing laps, doing something, and he could see it in my face. He said, "The pain is the weakness leaving your body," and I was like, "Oh
Ooh,
shit, oh,
ooh,
okay.
ooh,
I guess
ooh.
I guess I'm about to be in pain right now. I want this weakness to get out." It shit was wild, true story,
Oh my
crazy,
Oh my.
gosh.
Wait, Ryan. So you went to Goose Park for summer
great,
camp? Look at you.
great experience. No, it was
No,
for a
lifeguard
lifeguard
training.
certification in the
Oh,
hood. I was like, all right, well, people dying in the pool, you want that good training. So it was crazy. It was one of those nuggets that you get, man.
you
It's
know.
awesome. Yeah,
And
So
how
looking back,
many?
it's
I
just
know it was 3 weeks,
amazing.
but did you finish it or you just stopped going?
No, no, we finished it. I went all the way to the end. Actually, I think I might have got to the end, and then I either got hired at another job, and I was like, I don't really need it anymore. So I went through all that for nothing, to be honest with you. I think, but they were cool dudes, man. Like those experiences I love, man, because you
that's
show up and
right.
it's such an unorthodox situation you find yourself in. You don't ever think you're going to be in that situation, and then you are, and then you meet people out of it that you never would have met unless you got thrown into it. That's how I've always looked at it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Anyway, here we
So,
are.
so I mean, Shonda, we're speaking of summer camps. Like, what is your favorite? Like, this is summertime, and I just thought about it today. Like, what is your favorite summer memory, like as a child?
My summer memory that I just remembered was going to Richmond Park. My mama said it was Goose Park, but I remember being at Richmond Park and doing swimming lessons. However, although I still can't swim, I remember going doing swimming lessons.
Nah, you from
Wait,
the Bahamas and you do
wait,
swim lessons and you can't swim.
Ryan,
Well,
did you
I'm out.
hear? She said she went swimming. She had swimming lessons. She
And from
grew
the
up on
Bahamas.
the island and still don't know how to swim. Did
But y'all
y'all hear
Nah,
that?
remember,
Shonda.
I have a phobia of everything, so I was afraid of the water.
That's not a
And
phobia if it's of
uh
everything.
huh, I
No,
have
it's something else. We'll
no.
talk
It's,
about after TK drops that
I
intro
don't,
on us right now, man. We about to
It's
start
I
the
don't
not
want
gonna
to be
show.
get
in
that.
that
I'm
water.
about to cut her off.
I
I
want to be
mean,
in that
really.
water, so I never learned.
You're gonna learn today though.
It was
So,
a
what was
fight.
fun about it? What was fun
Well, it
about it
was
then,
fun
Shonda?
being there, having. I mean, fun at the camp, but I didn't like the swimming lessons.
Oh,
So
okay.
Yeah,
your phobia started early, huh? When you were young, huh?
I guess, because I still don't know how to swim. I know how to glide and doggy
Well,
paddle.
well, I got a pool and a real shallow end, so you could come over. We could do that.
Oh,
Child, you don't want the listen. I've been
Yeah,
on
I got
swimming
a jacuzzi
class.
too. You can stand up. It's only to your waist. You can start
there
in
it
that
is.
like a
No, that's
kiddie
too.
pool.
I don't mind. I could doggy paddle and I could glide. That's about it. But
You're good.
I,
Stop playing scared. You gotta face your fears. You already know that, Shonda, more than anybody.
I have a
You gonna
whole
drop
No,
the
list.
intro on us, TK, or what are we
no,
doing here? Let's
no,
let's drop. No, you got a plan, huh?
no. I always have a plan. I wait for the right moment to drop it.
Okay, then I don't want to be in the middle of dropping one of these answers, and then all of a sudden it's like,
Because you
No,
so
know
so
she'll
what's
do
your so
it.
so 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 what's your favorite summertime memory? Since you're asking Shonda.
oh, when I thought about it like this morning, um, speaking of the Bahamas, every summer my parents used to fly me back to the Bahamas or ship me off to the Bahamas to go stay with my two uncles. And I would live with one for 1 month and the other for the other month. And I remember crying every time, every trip to the airport because I didn't understand why they were sending me off to the Bahamas. I just felt like they was trying to get rid of me. But it took me to become a parent that like when I used to send my kids off to Colorado to their grandparents every summer. So it took me to become a parent to understand. But I still want my mom, like I tell her now, okay, you used to send me off every summer to the Bahamas. You still want to do it? Because I'm still down, mom. You can still do it now. You know what I'm saying? Shonda, did you ever go to the Bahamas for the summer?
No, ma'am. I just
Because you
started going to
wasn't.
Dang.
Bahamas until I was like 19 on my own.
You ain't gonna
Mm.
fly, swim, nothing, huh?
No, I just did. I wasn't connected to my family then. It wasn't
Oh,
until
Mm.
my aunt used to come over here a lot, and I always see her then. But like the rest of the family, no. But when I started going, like I was 19, I went once, and then as an adult, I started going more.
well, we got Ryan and Goose, and we got Shonda in Richmond Heights, and we got TK and Perrine. That's
There it
how we do
is.
it. That song. Like our intro is so hard. Like
Yeah,
it's
it
been
is.
a year.
Drop.
It's been a year and it's still. And
Right, I see
you
them over
see how I
here
brought Ryan in there. You see
rocking.
That's
Ryan.
so smooth. That's so smooth. Yeah, it was nice.
You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
Exactly. Hi, everybody. What a great day. A great start to the week. It's Monday, which means it's time for Talk Miami. I have the pleasure of being your host tonight. I am TK Owens, and let's go around the room. Cindy is still actually she's back in New York. She has a show tonight, but she'll be with us next week because she'll also be the host. But let me turn it to the woman that's actually in the green shirt, which I've never seen her in a green shirt. It's your turn.
Good evening, everyone. This is Dr.
Ryan.
She can't do it.
Ryan. Why you let me
She
break
can't do it.
character? I was
She
ready.
can't. No, 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 no. She can't do it.
She can't do it. She can't do
No,
it.
no, no. No characters around here. You are a character. Just be you.
Good evening, Doctor. I'm good.
So you got her all thrown off now.
This is Dr. Shonda Roberts. I am glad to be back with you all. I hope you had a great weekend. I'm going to take it down to the man with the jokes, Mr. Ryan
Hey,
David.
was the Ryan David, psychology professor, personal leadership, holistic lifestyle coach. I'm out of town this week, y'all, so that's why you don't see me in the studio. So bear with me. I got my AirPods on. I got the laptop. So, but I'm in the building.
So Ryan, you are in Orlando. What did you do this weekend?
Yeah, this weekend I finished teaching my 6 week crash summer course. We do summer A 6 week and summer B 6 weeks. I always do summer A, and I finished Thursday was the last day of classes, and it was like a brain dump for me. It was like totally like I'm finished. Put grades in Friday, and I'm done. I left Saturday morning, drove to my dad's in Ocala to spend time with him. He actually got major back surgery last Tuesday. They fused a vertebrae
Oh,
together. He had some sciatic pain or whatever, so he had a major procedure on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and I went up there to see him on Saturday, Sunday, and my sister lives in Orlando with her husband. They have a 9 month old. They came up, so we were up there for the weekend, Saturday, Sunday, and then we figured, hey, I want to see her house. She just bought a new house, or whatever. So we all came down today. They're gonna stay the night and babysit while she goes to work. She's a nurse. I'm gonna hang out with them, spend the night, and I'll head home tomorrow. So it's just
oh,
some like getting away from home, family time, no work situation, and yeah, it's
there
really
it
good to be
is.
around them.
That's
Yeah,
Is
good.
yeah.
that one of your students down here in the comment section?
I don't.
Is
Tarika
it?
was she was a former student of mine. Yeah. What did she say?
Oh,
Hey, yeah, yeah.
she
What's
No,
up?
says
not
you're the
that
best
one.
Oh
sister.
no, no, Tariq, but no, so I had a Tarika. Who you talking about? Oh, yes, yes, that is. What's up, AJ? Yes, 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 yes. I don't
Oh,
know. It was never in my class, but I don't think so. They you'd be surprised. They give me shouts out from just friends and whatnot. I can't remember at this point in time because I can't see faces. I'm better with faces and names. So when
okay.
I see a face and I couldn't see the profile pic, but you know how the
Awesome.
internet is. They drop in or whatever. But I
That's all
appreciate the compliment, no matter who that is. I think I know who that is.
right.
But regardless,
Okay.
whenever I see something like that, it's totally humbling because I have some colleagues that I have a lot of respect and admiration for as professors. So if
Absolutely.
I'm competing with them at all, it's amazing. But how was y'all's weekend? How was y'all's Sunday? How was y'all's weekend this weekend?
Shonda, what did you do on Father's Day? You want to tell your false story?
Mm-mm. I don't have a false story,
Dang,
but
now you try with the false story.
I did cook dinner for my husband as I do every Father's Day.
She said
Um,
that's the false
this
story.
this is a weekend. This was a little challenging for me because I had to make his gift plus cook, and he doesn't eat pork, so I had to cook pork ribs and beef ribs. And someone gave me a new recipe that it worked. It was really good. So I cooked yesterday. The kids came over. Well, not came over, but Elijah came over. The kids, other kids
Yeah.
live here, and they gave him his gift, and it was real chill. You know, he fell asleep about 2 or 3 times, and I just stayed in my office and worked. So it was good. We had a good day.
Oh, good.
Good
My
day.
weekend was just filled with everything and every emotion. Starting out, my son' birthday is actually this coming Wednesday, but it was we celebrated his birthday weekend down in the Keys and went jet skiing with the family. So that was amazing. Then of course the next day was Father's Day, and it's mixed emotions because of course I
Yeah.
still have my husband who is, he's the father of the family, plus my father-in-law. So we took both of them out for Father's Day to dinner. But then, of course, every Father's Day, I take a trip to the cemetery to go see my dad. But I did what you told me to, Ryan. I
What'd you
focused
do?
on the good times. I still cry, but I'm getting better. How about that?
Ain't nothing wrong with crying though. Yeah,
Right.
that's hell yeah. Like that's
Yeah,
what don't confuse that. That's expressing the emotions. It's when you don't cry and you try to bottle it up. That's when you're
yeah.
not making progress to me.
I got you.
Good,
Thank you.
good,
Thank
good
you.
for you.
Listen to the
Good
But
for you.
song in its entirety.
not
Not
I
this
did
weekend.
one night, but I couldn't do it yesterday, even though I did
Uh,
a post and I used that song, but it was only like 15 seconds.
yeah, that's fine. You ain't got to get crazy.
And so, speaking of that, we didn't get a chance to wish all the fathers out there last week a happy Father's Day. So this is our love from the Talk Miami family to you, Ryan. I know Ryan is out there listening. All of our fathers and our loyal listeners, if you're a father, we're wishing you a happy Father's Day. So, guys, let's get right into it because you know what? When I was thinking about what I wanted to talk about, I said, you know what? There's difference of opinions. And so that's what I'm actually naming this segment is the difference of opinions. Because Ryan, what you may perceive as something, I may not look at it that way. And saying to you, Shonda, to me, everything is based on perception and how the person perceives it. So, one of the main things that I wanted to talk about today, and I'm going to tell you guys why. I actually saw a video clip from Cam Newton. I know he's a quarterback. I forgot which team. I think he got traded. But he talked about him making a family mistake. And I want to go ahead and share that video with you because that's actually what we're talking about today. First topic is mistakes versus bad decisions. And I want to know what is the difference. We all know what a mistake is. We know making bad choices, but who gets to determine if it's a mistake or a bad choice? So before we jump into that topic, and I have questions for you guys, let me play this video that Cam Newton said that he made a mistake. And then I want to ask you guys after this video, do you think he made a mistake or it was a bad decision? Here we go.
The 2011, 12, 13, 14, 15 MVP year Cam is not what we see now. It really, in my mind, let me know where I'm wrong.
Visual.
Visually, it's not what we see now. What made that, was it the money? What made that change? What made that aggressive push for Cam to try to show the change?
Honestly, it was a situation, a personal situation for me. My longtime girlfriend at the time, you know, we had a family. And I made a mistake. I hurt her and I jeopardized our family at that time. And I had a child outside of our relationship. And coming from where I come from, being the person who I am, nobody will ever speak on it, you know, because we got a lot of people who are in high powers still make humanistic mistakes. And I can honestly say I made a humanistic mistake.
Now, you know, I have a lot to say, but I'm not going to say today. I'm the host. I'm not going to say what I want to say. I want to hear your perception. So here it is. He had a family. He ended up having not affair because he wasn't married. I guess he cheated and had
Child out of
another
wedlock.
child outside of the
Yeah.
relationship. And he's saying that that was a mistake. So who my first question, and audience, I want to hear from you too. I want you guys to tell me the difference between a mistake and a bad decision. So please share your answers in the chat. We'll make sure we bring it in. But I'm gonna go to you, Ryan, first, because this is gonna be good to hear from a man's point of view, and then Shonda, I want you to tell me from a female's point of view. So Ryan, is that a mistake having an outside child or a bad decision?
Well, first of all, as always, I won't speak for all men, but I am a man, so I'll speak as a man. And as far as Cam, he was playing for the Carolina Panthers, as I think Ryan said in the comments at that time, and he ended up coming back playing for the Patriots just to get it cleared out. You know, I want to speak to your first question,
Mhm.
TK, which is what's the difference, and then I maybe can speak to Cam's particular situation because
Okay.
that's actually an important point. Are we talking about a specific thing, which we can decide if it was or the other? Just generally speaking, though, I'll just like throw my 2 cents out there. I thought about this when you threw it out there because I had never really. So I teach about mistakes. I teach about making mistakes. I teach about how to handle them, but I never really looked at them in the context of bad decisions versus mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess what I'll say when I thought about it was when you look at a mistake versus a bad decision, I think what factors into it, and then maybe we could drill down to Cam's situation. I think what factors into the difference between the two is a mistake is a mistake. It's at the time you're going to make a decision, you weigh out everything in front of you and you do everything you can to make the best choice. And it's only after you make the decision, the choice, that you look back and say, "Oh, that was a mistake. I shouldn't have done that." That's what mistakes are. And you should learn from mistakes. But a mistake is made where you, at the time, look at all the decisions and you, at the moment, think this is the best one. You make the quote best one at that moment. And then you realize only after the fact, dang, I didn't know that could have happened. But now I realize it was a mistake. Whereas a bad decision is I have a bunch of choices or options in front of me and I have
Okay.
decisions I can make. This seems like the best one. This is also a good one, or this is also a decision, but it's not the best one. Let me make this one. Actually, that was a bad decision compared to the other ones that you had. So I think
Mm.
it's more conscious when you make a bad decision, you knew at the time you made it, it wasn't the best decision. Whereas with a mistake, you think you're making the best decision. Does that make sense?
It makes sense.
That's the
It
technical difference that I find with Cam in that situation, particularly when you talk about having quote an affair or talk about having cheating, or I don't know enough about his situation. He didn't really expand too much. It made
Mhm.
it sound like he was with that girl, his girlfriend, and they had children. And then he also had a family, a child with another woman. Now, if they broke up and his decision was to break up with her, who he had children with, and then go get with someone else, and they ended up having children, maybe he says, "Damn, that was actually a bad decision." Or what did he say? It was a mistake.
He said it.
Maybe
I'm
he's
a,
saying
A
it was
I'm gonna
humanistic.
sum it up.
a
He's pretty
humanistic
much
mistake.
saying he
I think
broke
he meant
up his
human mistake.
family. He
Yeah,
broke up
but
his
that
family because of his mistake he
of
made.
well, right. The child was ended up being
Yeah.
a mistake. But my point is maybe he was using the word mistake because maybe he thought, well, I'm not happy in this relationship with these kids. I'm gonna go and I'm gonna date this person, and then oh my God, while I'm dating this person, I have a child, and then it's only after the fact that I realized that's not gonna work out. Man, that was a mistake, or it was a bad decision to go outside of the relationship he was in to have the child. So I don't know enough about his specific situation to say which one it was. It could be either one. It sounds like it was probably a bad decision that he's calling a mistake. And I think a lot of people oftentimes do that. They dismiss their bad decisions for mistakes. And like you guys probably are maybe going to, support the idea that no, there's a difference there. One of them is
Oh,
all
you
on
know I'm
you.
ready. You know I'm
Yeah,
ready.
yeah, yeah. One of them's all on you. You consciously made a bad choice or decision versus you thought you made a good one and it ended up being a mistake. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's like you go out to buy a certain grocery and you go and you get the one you think you're supposed to get, and you come back and you're like, oh, I made a mistake. I picked the wrong one, but you didn't know. A bad decision is you knew and you still made it. Shonda?
Shonda, how did you take that and perceive that video?
Well, I feel that in any relationship, and you go out the relationship and to cheat or whatever is a bad decision. You had ample time to not do that and or to make up your mind to not do it, and you decide to do it anyway. When I was looking it up just to make sure, when I was thinking about your topics, I was looking up
Mhm.
different examples of stuff. And one of the examples I saw was selecting a wrong answer on a test is a mistake. Deciding not to study for that test is a bad decision,
There
which
you go.
makes perfect
Mhm.
sense. And I
Mhm.
feel that even though he had a child, and I saw that Tarika said maybe he means that it was a mistake the woman got pregnant. All of that is included in your bad decision. If you had never went there, she would have got pregnant. Did you wear protection? I don't know the whole story. Did he wear protection? Not wearing protection was a bad decision, not a mistake.
Correct.
So the
Correct.
child's not a mistake. Whatever led
No.
up to you making that child
Come on.
was a bad decision. That's my thought.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
So let me break it down. Let's take it off of Cam. Let's just talk about cheating in general. You are in a relationship, okay? And it's a marriage, a relationship, exclusive relationship. Is cheating a mistake or a choice that you make?
I feel it's a choice.
Of course, it's
Ryan?
A choice.
Yeah, of course, it's a choice. If you want to talk about cheating, I did a whole YouTube video on my channel about stop calling it cheating. We use that word cheating way too loosely. We throw it around as a pop culture term. It's almost normalized. Stop saying cheating. Start calling it what it is. It's disrespect. It's a choice to disrespect your partner. So I have a whole YouTube video on it. I'm talking about it. I'll put the link in here in the chats and in the comment in a minute. But yeah, of course it's a choice. It's absolutely a decision. It's a selfish decision. You're making your choice to do what you want to do at that moment for you. And maybe there's a lot of motives for why you do that. But it's a choice. It's a decision. You got to own that. Don't ever say, I made a mistake, babe. Say, I made a decision to do that. And this is why. Do you understand or not? Or you don't understand. We can't be together. Or you do understand. This is where I'm at. Yeah, I'm not with all that. I'm sorry. I made a mistake. Please forgive me. Blah, blah, blah. Begging, all that stuff. Nah, man, get out of here with that, man.
So that's the reason why I said take Cam out of it, right?
Yeah.
Because that's exactly what this whole thing was about. They broke up his family, and him and his girlfriend at the time, the mother of his children, they broke up after this outside child. And he's pretty much saying he's trying to take ownership. But the part that to me, was getting mixed up is that he's saying, I made a humanistic mistake. Like
humanistic stuff. You did what you did.
You knew. Yeah. I feel like, and I want to go ahead and tell you what my definition is. To me, a mistake is that the thing, they're both wrong. A mistake and a bad decision equals that both things are incorrect. But to me, a bad decision and a bad choice is the intent. Making a mistake is me getting off the exit. I got off the wrong exit because I didn't know where I was going. Lord, I made a mistake.
You intended to do the best thing. You intended to do the right thing. You intended to get off the right exit. Intention was good.
And then if a bad choice is, to me, right from wrong. Let's call a spade a spade. He knows that there is a risk in every decision, every consequence. Every bad decision has a consequence. The moment that you step out and had an affair or cheated, there is that percentage that something can go wrong. So at that moment, you made a choice to still do it, knowing that there is a risk. To me, that's a bad decision when you know. That's just like if I'm drunk and I know I'm drunk and I get behind the wheel. And if I have an accident, that is a bad decision. That is not a mistake. So, Shonda, what is an example that you think is a difference between a mistake and a bad decision?
Girl, you asked me first. With my brain.
Come on now. I need you to be on it.
I don't know.
I'll let you think about that while I first say thank you, Casey, in the comments for giving my dad some thoughts and sending your thoughts my way to my dad and his recovery. Appreciate you, Casey. And also, I was gonna say that was a student at MDC Homestead campus of mine that I knew. Yeah. So I had to clarify that.
Okay, well, I'll go ahead and read some comments while you thinking about that.
What'd you ask her? What'd you ask her?
Give her an example of a bad
decision. Give her an example of what you think is the difference between a mistake and a bad decision.
Let's play a game, Shonda. Let's play a game,
Shonda. Let's get her back, Ryan. Exactly.
Yeah, play a game, Shonda. Bad decision, bad mistake. Ready, go. One of each.
Go.
My brain was on busy today. Okay. I think a bad decision, and I'm gonna do it, Ryan. Chill.
You know today's Monday. That brain turned off. Don't work on Mondays. You already know what time it is.
A bad decision. I'm trying to think of stuff without telling on myself. That's why.
That's what we want.
Just think. Maybe. Let's talk about. I guess when I was skipping school. I guess I don't know. The bad decision was to, let's say I'm skipping school with my friends and we go and hang out like we used to do and smoke pot and not go to school. It's a bad decision, right? But then when I got in trouble, I told my mom I made a mistake. And she She's like, no, that's not a
You know
mistake.
what? That's
That
not
was
a
a bad
mistake.
decision. So that's
Mhm.
something I thought about. Like when I was, I always called everything a mistake when I got in trouble as a teenager.
The mistake was hanging around the kids that you thought you'd be okay
Exactly.
Oh,
hanging around.
there
Thought they
you
were good kids,
go.
and next thing you
There
know,
you
they went
go.
to go do something. And I
No,
knew I
I knew
shouldn't
they
do it,
weren't
but I
good.
did it.
There
All
you
right, what do
go.
you mean?
True.
Too
All
bad.
right.
Mhm.
And
Right.
Uncle says, she says, I believe the bad decision wasn't a favorable one. Perhaps he thought the other relationship was something fun, but resulted in a child in which he now feels was a bad decision. Okay.
Something
Ryan,
fun, but it
I
ain't
have a
fun for
question.
the. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I have a question for you.
All right.
So, how do you overcome mistakes or bad decisions or having regrets in life?
But those are two different things. With mistakes, remember the
Okay.
mistake, what I implied with a mistake was you could not have done anything more or better than you did before you made the mistake. You thought you were ready. You went
Mm-hmm.
out, you set ahead with everything you thought you knew you had and you could do. You did it. You tried your best. You bubbled in the answer and you found out, oh, that was actually a mistake. But you didn't know it's a mistake. It's after the fact that you realize it was a mistake. That's how you have to view mistakes or failures, if you will, that you actually prepare for. That's why you want to prepare. So
Okay.
mistakes, you actually should welcome in the information from your mistakes because then you can correct them, or you should try to, so you don't make the same one twice. Because if you make the same mistake twice, that's a bad decision.
Come on.
So first, but the bad choices, that's still learning. That's still learning about you. What did I
Yeah.
choose to do in that moment, and why? What were the forces, the pressures? What was I thinking? And so no matter what, regret only lives when you don't take what you could have learned to be better, and you beat yourself up for something that you couldn't have done beforehand, or you haven't learned. All right, I'll just do it next time. It's a tough one, but I don't know if that made a lot of sense. But I just think it's a
No.
after the fact and a learning. I mean, I think Casey talked about learning in the chat. It's really about learning. What can I take from it? What can I learn? It's making the same bad decisions and same mistakes twice that you really consider failure. If you learn from everything you do and you're not repeating those mistakes
Mm-hmm.
or those
Mm-hmm.
bad decisions, then you're learning and you're growing, and that's a good thing. It's when you're redundantly, repetitively making these mistakes, these bad decisions over and over again. That's when you're doing something wrong, and that's what you should be really concerned about.
And I have this saying, when you know better, you do better. And if you're not
Yeah,
learning from your mistakes or even your bad decisions, like you said, Ryan, that's a choice at that point.
at that point,
At that
right.
point. Exactly. You
Yeah,
know?
it's just until you know better, you won't do better. So pay attention so that you know better to what you.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
I think did I say this last week when I don't know what I was telling my class.
Tell me.
You fall down 7 times, you get up 8. I was like, that's cool and all, like that's kind of catchy and cliche, but let me add something to
Mhm.
that. Don't just be tough enough and strong enough to get up 8 times when you fall down 7. Pay attention to why you fell down. What'd you trip over?
Come
So you
on.
learn, so you don't fall again. And you know how to get up again anyway. Like, come on,
I'm
man.
not falling 7 times. I can tell you
Right,
that.
right, twice maybe, and then I'm like, oh, that's why I fell. Let me watch out.
Three
Right.
strikes you out. That's how
Something to
I
think about.
feel.
Yeah.
I just thought it was, I saw that video and I just thought this would be a great topic to talk about or just even educate. We use this platform to educate people. And sometimes he took ownership because he's saying that he made a mistake,
I
but
was gonna say that,
I
CK.
just wanted people to
He
know
made a
what's the difference.
humanistic mistake. What the hell are you talking
I
about?
think he means human
Exactly.
mistake too. Yeah, he's saying
He-
humanistic kind of in the wrong
he-
context
So if
there.
I get
it-
stopped by a police car because I ran a red light, I'm gonna say, "Oh, officer, I made a humanistic mistake."
Let me know how that works out for you when he puts you in them humanistic cuffs.
a whole child was born and
Right,
now you know what I mean, he hurt a lot of people's feelings, and I like that he's taking ownership, but just do that, take
Yeah,
ownership and
maybe
say you're
that's
sorry. I effed up, pretty much.
yeah,
Just say that. Don't sit up here
yeah.
talking about you made a humanistic mistake. But guys, we can talk about this all day, but the show goes on and on because it's time to go
oh,
to the corner with Dr. Shonda. Cindy's not here, so I'm not doing no singing. So Dr. Shonda's Community
There you
Corner.
go. That's good enough. Come on, we don't
Wait,
hate.
Ryan, did you see her face? Did you see her?
Shonda, she tried. She like Cam. She tried. She tried.
thank you. She made a humanistic mistake.
And that was a bad decision to hit that
It was a
jingle.
bad
Okay?
decision. It was a bad decision to try to sing.
Right, and the mistake was actually singing. That was
Oh man.
You need to
Oh
yeah, but
man.
thank you. I listen. I
I'm glad
appreciate
I
the
didn't say
effort,
nothing.
Sugar Lump. I appreciate it. Well, as you all know, yesterday. Well, you don't know. Yesterday was Juneteenth, which is called Freedom Day, also known as Emancipation Day. Juneteenth commemorates June 19th, 1865, when federal troops in Galveston, Texas, gave word to enslaved African Americans that they were free. So the last of the slaves that were enslaved were actually free June 19th, 1865, more than 2 years after the Emancipation Proclamation was signed. The holiday has been celebrated by many Black families for generations, but began to gain wider attention in 2020 after the murder of George Floyd and Breonna Taylor. Despite the federal recognition, some Black organizers are beginning to see that local support can be a harder lift. While every state has at some point recognized Juneteenth as an observance, 26 states have yet to adopt Juneteenth as a paid public holiday, including seven former Confederate states, according to the Pew Research Center.
I bet you they.
Reasons for the delay vary from state to state. In some places, it's due to lagging bureaucracy. In other places, it's due to disputes over when to actually celebrate the holiday. Because the holiday fell yesterday, but it's actually supposed to be celebrated today, which is June 20th. Over the weekend, there were several events in Miami alone that celebrated June 19th. I was participated in one, and that was on Friday, where my business and the other local vendors were able to do what they call a pop-up shop. And that is Sexual Chocolate right there, selling Queen Crafty stuff,
Hey.
selling Queen Crafty designs. And there were other events. It was a nice event. Other vendors were out there. They also had like painting for the kids. They also had shows. I actually sang, but I forgot to upload the video. I actually sang. I sang A Change Is Gonna Come by Sam Cooke. I opened up the event. And then also we have a local artist by the name of Gia Wire. She was given a proclamation day for Gia Wire Day. And then these are some kids that were doing paintings. It was a nice event. They had a lot of singers going on. There was a lot of things people could do. Local food vendors, trucks, whatever you could eat, name it was out there. It was a beautiful event. It was hot, but it was nice, and it was very well. A lot of people came to it. So that is my community corner for the night. I hope going forward more businesses allow their employees to observe that day so that they can have the day off and honor Juneteenth.
Absolutely. I had the day off. My organization, United Way, actually observed the holiday for the first time this year.
Wow.
So I had the day off as well. So thank you for that, Dr. Shonda.
Yeah.
Even though you said I made a mistake, but that's okay. I'm gonna make it up now. And so, guys, I want to talk about topic 2. And like I said, it's all about perception, right? It is different choices. It's how we perceive things. So the next difference, let's see. Let's compare this. Okay. And Ryan and I actually had this discussion like last time when we actually signed off on the last show. We brought this up. So I asked Ryan. I said, wait, what'd you say, Shonda?
I said, where was that? That's when I hung up.
You said you had to leave, man. You went on your birthday dinner or something.
That's when you
you left us.
Yeah,
I gotta go. I gotta go. All right.
Bye. But I asked Ryan, I said, when does it become bragging when you post a picture on social media? I'm like, what is the difference? And that's what I want to ask the audience. What is the difference between bragging and sharing on social media? And what I mean by that is we're all proud of our accolades and all of our accomplishments. But when we post it on social media, is it perceived as bragging? And you guys, I'm gonna throw some questions at you. You probably not gonna really want to answer them, but I want the truth. So first of all, I want you guys to answer the question.
Yeah, let me just answer the question before you throw the
Ryan, what is the difference between bragging and just sharing?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the difference, and I talk about this to my students as well, because social media is a part of our lives, whether we like it or not, whether you use it or not, it's a part of our lives. But actually, the difference between bragging and sharing actually does not come down to or should not factor in the perceptions of other people, believe it or not. What you should consider when it comes to sharing, whether you're bragging or sharing, is you should consider your own motives. You
Mm-hmm.
should ask yourself, why am I posting this picture? Am I
Mm-hmm.
posting this picture for external validation, for attention? Am I posting this with a motive to get something from other people? Or am I posting this with the motive because I am happy and I am proud and I want to share no matter what feedback I get, whether it gets 0 likes or not? Is that my motive? And so I think you are the only one that knows what you're doing, and you have to be honest with
Hmm.
yourself, true with yourself, and say, why am I posting this picture? And you'll be the only one that knows. Everyone else will have a perception, but if you know that genuinely you're only posting because you want to share, you'll go to sleep and you'll feel fulfilled and you won't have to worry about it. But if you're posting because you're bragging, now you're on the hook for other people to externally validate you. Now you're going to have some sort of emptiness because you know you were bragging. And when you're bragging, all you're trying to get is feedback for validation, essentially, is what you're doing to mask some other insecurity. So when it comes to, and I had to ask myself this question when I was teaching it one day. I was like, wait a second, how do I know? Because I share things all the time. And I realized I'm not sharing for anybody else.
Hmm.
I'm not sharing for
Hmm.
anybody else. I should say I'm not sharing for validation from else. I'm sharing for people who are going to enjoy my content, who can get
Right.
inspired, or who care about me and want to give me feedback and say, hey, good
Exactly.
stuff. But that's it. My motive is what counts. And that's what I'll think about when I post something. Why am I posting this right now? What's my motive? And as soon as I feel
Hmm.
something bubble up and I feel like it's disingenuous, or I'm not really posting that because of the genuine reasons to
Yeah.
really just share or to inspire, and I feel like it's more selfish, then I try to pull back and I'm like, nah, that ain't what I'm gonna do right now. So I think you're the only one that really knows the
That's a
difference. What do
good
you,
point because that's the questions that I want to ask you guys, and I want you to tell me the truth.
okay, but
Let's
Shonda,
go.
what do you think, Shonda? What is your
I agree. I agree. Wholeheartedly agree with you said, and I also want to add that I feel that if you feel that I'm bragging when I'm posting, or however you feel, that you need to check what's going on with you, because
oh
I feel
yeah,
that if people are looking at someone's post and feel like everything they post, or most of the time what they post is bragging, then they need to get off social media, because those
I
are the ones
agree.
who are going to have mental health issues, or already have them, or going to feel like they're not living up to what they should be living up to,
Jealous,
about
envious,
someone else's.
insecure, all these
Someone
things. Yep.
actually called me and told me not to post about my husband. They actually picked up the phone and said, you know, you should not post about your husband. People may get jealous.
Wait.
Girl,
Man, we're going to post 10 more pictures after that phone call.
listen, I made a whole collage after that. Because if that's what you're looking at, instead of seeing couples that are happy and in love and don't mind sharing that, how does that, if that bothers you, then what's your intention? What's your problem?
Nah, bro. The
And
day
that's
you start living your life for the perceptions of other people is the day your
exactly.
life ends.
I do
Exactly.
not live
Exactly.
my life for the perception of other people. I don't care if I never get a like share, but what you will see is posts about accomplishments of my kids, my husband, myself, my
Right.
family. You will see good things. Like, I'm going to continue to post those things because I am proud of my family. I'm proud of being married 20 years. I'm proud,
That's right.
that I have kids that are doing things and accomplishing their goals. If that's a problem for somebody, then you need to seek within yourself and see what's wrong.
Well, then, with that question, Shonda, I do want to ask you, right? Because Ryan touched on this earlier. So, when you do post something, Shonda,
Mm-hmm.
what are you posting for? Is it because, like, or let's stick to the topic too. When
Mm-hmm.
you are posting your accomplishments or something that happened that you wanted to share with everyone, is it because you want to empower someone and motivate them? Is it because of the likes? Do you want self gratification? Why does Shonda post certain things?
Because it's my party and I can post if I want to. Like, I don't honestly, and I know it sounds funny, but I honestly, I'm trying to think of my answer before I respond because I want to give you truth. I
Yes.
honestly don't think of anyone besides the people I'm posting about when I'm posting. Like, for instance, if I'm posting a picture of my husband, I make sure he likes that picture before I post it. If I post a picture of my kids, I know my kids are more self-absorbed, so they don't want me posting certain pictures that's not cute. So I'll ask them, is this picture okay? You and I, for instance, when we take a picture, we make sure the picture is cute before we post it. I don't care if people don't like it. Now, we all have our messy moments. I've had my messy moments. And there
Okay.
have been times where I know that someone has probably said something. So I may post something to probably irk them a little bit. So
Mm-hmm.
I've done that and before. But however, most of the times, and 99.5% of the time when I'm posting, the only person I care about who may have an issue with what I post are the people who I'm posting about or the pictures that I'm posting.
But
That's
Mm.
that's who
about
you're
it.
posting for in the first place. Like I
Exactly.
was
I
gonna
don't care
say,
if I don't get
TK,
likes because I
right,
care that my children care that I acknowledge their accomplishments. I
and it's
care that
between them.
exactly. Like it doesn't
Yeah.
matter. Now, when I'm posting about paying the purpose, I'm posting our nonprofit because then you have people that say, "Well, if you're helping people, you should show people that you're helping people," or whatever stupid stuff. Like I've gotten
Right.
all types.
I've heard that before.
Right,
Mm-hmm.
like you, if you're doing it from the heart, you want to post. But if I don't show that I do it, I ain't getting no money. Like I get donations because I need to show the work that I've done. I need to show the people who have donated what I've done with their money. So this is why I do post. And we may not share we don't share our survivors' faces unless they choose to. Whatever, but when we're posting just generally about paying the purpose in our organization and what we do and we give our purses,
But
we
that becomes an advertisement. That's not
that
sharing or bragging. That's an
That's right.
exactly
advertisement
I
of our
have to right.
That's
success
a
and how
business.
we can
Exactly.
volunteer and reach to course.
Exactly. So
TK, I want to hear what your scenarios were. I just want to piggyback real quick on what Shauna said, which is the crazy thing about the internet and social media is now that everybody thinks that it's all for them. Everybody thinks that
Right.
everything that's posted is for them. You got to think about accounts. I created an account just because it's public means you can see it. Doesn't mean it's for you, bro. Who are
right,
you,
Yeah.
bro?
Right.
You came on my page, bro. What are you telling or even
right,
commenting? Like, I don't even know who you are. You think I posted for you or for you to even see it? I
Right.
posted for whoever I'm thinking of, like Shauna said, or whoever knows me and decides they want to follow me to see whatever the hell I post. If you're
right,
not following me already and you don't even know me, then keep it moving because
Yeah.
pretend like
right.
it doesn't exist. But nah, not with social media. If it's out there, I got to comment on it because I have access to it. But
Exactly.
Yeah. Well,
that's
I
not
have
how
a
I'm
question.
posting.
I have a question and a scenario for you, Ryan. Are you ready?
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
All right. You're on Instagram and you see someone go from a private jet, they land, get to the island, go out on a yacht. Everything is being filmed.
Yep.
Do you take that as them bragging or them just sharing their experience? Tell the truth. Shame the devil.
What'd she say last? What did she say?
Tell the
Tell the
truth.
truth and
Shame the
shame the
devil.
devil.
I'm
Okay,
doing that
I'm gonna
all
say
day.
it again. They
Real
on
talk.
a
I'm doing that
private
all day.
jet.
I got it.
Okay, all right.
I'm just trying to figure out if I know if I'm answering to what I assume that they're doing or if what do I do? I mean, I'll be honest, like you said, and tell you what my first raw reaction would probably be, even though obviously I run through all of them not to not get stuck on my snap judgment. The first thing that I would think they're doing is it's a form of self promotion, and they're trying to be some sort of influencer, and they're trying to cater to what people like as far as luxury and whatnot. That's what I
Mhm.
might think of doing initially. The second thing they could be doing is they could be documenting their journey in their life on whatever they're doing that people know about and are following them for. Who knows? The question is not that's not the question. The question is, do I care? And
Mm,
does it affect me at all if
Right.
somebody's documenting themselves flying a private jet? For me, I put like Shonda said, I'm not gonna go leave a comment there. Like, what does that say? What does that say about me if I feel some type of way about a stranger documenting them flying a private jet? I'm gonna spend my time and energy to like it's just a dime a dozen. I'll say this, like I said, my original answer probably is that 9 times out of 10, it probably is somebody with self promotion trying to boast and fill themselves in because that's the society we live in. Actually, that's the way society was even before the internet. The internet just magnified what people were always trying to do:
mhm.
biggest, baddest, best, fastest, prettiest. That's what the internet just magnified, that same human tendency. And so that's really pretty much what's going on. I mean, that's my answer. I don't know
Have
if
Have you ever? Okay. Question for both of you guys. I want to hear both of you, and I also want to
So
hear.
so 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 TK, if I do a vlog, I got a
Okay.
vlog I did to New York. If I go on a trip and I vlog it, whether I
Okay.
go by myself or I go with somebody, and I vlog the trip and I'm documenting what I'm doing, and say I go to St. Martin, say I go skiing, and
Hmm.
I'm doing something that maybe a lot of people can't afford to do or don't have the money to do, but at my point in my life I can. If I vlog that and I document that, am I now that guy that was on the private jet to somebody and they're saying, "Oh, look at him, he's self promoting"? Or am I
I
have what? But do I have people like students of mine or friends of mine or fans of mine that want to know what's going on in my life and they like my character, they like my personality, and they'll want to watch me go on a trip and see how I experience these things. Maybe I inspire them to be able to do that one day too. Like all those things matter. And if you're on an outside, you don't really know what they're about, what they're doing.
and
So I
so
don't. I'm
I don't know. I
Go, go,
get
go,
it.
go,
Now
go, go, go.
I'm going to ask this question to the both of you. I want to hear your answer, and audience, I want to hear your answer too. Okay, then I heard both of you. At what point does it become bragging? Come on now.
When you're genuine, when your motive is to get attention, purely to get attention and validation from other people. When your motive is not about you anymore, or I should say, not about, when your motive is about what other people think, and you're trying to influence what other people think about you, and your motive is to try to convince other people to think about you in a certain way by how they perceive you, which is the biggest flaw you could make as a person ever.
Shonda.
I was gonna say what he said earlier about depends on your intentions. However, like, if you get to the point where, oh yeah, let me post this because I know I'm gonna kill him with this, or let me post this, it's your intention still. If your intention
Yeah.
is, to get a reaction out of you or whoever the viewers are, then I guess that's when it comes to bragging. When you're doing stuff and you want to show people your accomplishments because you feel you're better than them, that it all still goes back to your intentions when you're posting. So I think that's when it comes to bragging. Especially when you're bragging and if I'm putting something on my page and I say, you know, some of y'all need to go get an education because I just got mine, something like that. You know what I mean? Or
Right,
something to
right,
that
right,
effect.
right.
Though I think it depends on the words you're saying, and again, your intentions behind the post. That's when it becomes bragging, and especially if your intentions are to offend someone.
Well, I'm
TK, I want to hear what you have to say too. I was just going to throw in there.
yeah.
You got to remember,
She
life is
grabbing
a
that
competition.
chin all night.
I know she's
I
ready.
want to share a personal decision that I
I want to
made
hear it.
not to
I want,
post, right?
no, real quick though. I just
Yeah,
want to throw in, because I think this is relevant, because I want to make sure I throw this
sure.
caveat in there. Life is a competition. Anybody that denies that doesn't understand how life, the existence of life works. To
Mm-hmm.
compete for life is this essentials. Life is it, but competition is a part of life, and so you have to also take it in context. I just thought about somebody like Drake, who posts a video of his house, or
Right.
celebrities and rappers that they're constantly posting, and there's a lot of bragging in that, but it's bragging in the context of the competition that they're in. So that's almost a marketing thing as well. So you got to keep that in context. Are they competing in a way that this perception will matter for their clout and for what they're
Yeah.
getting back? So there's some caveats in that sense.
Yeah, and Latasha said it depends on your intentions, and that's what I want to dive into. You said it at the beginning, Ryan. It's up to you when you're posting it. What is your intention behind that post? And I'm
That's
gonna
it.
share something with you guys, that a huge accomplishment that was for me, but I chose not to post it because it really bothered me. I literally was like, are they gonna think that I'm bragging or
Mm,
showing off? And
mm.
I chose not to do it. However, the people in my life do know what type of car I drive, so I don't mind sharing it now. I went out and bought a dream car of mine. It's on my vision board back here, and it meant a lot to me to go
That was
out
a
and
bad
buy.
decision not to post it.
Well, okay, but guess what? Thank you for that, Ryan. But I went out and got it. I was so proud of myself. And when I got it, I took a picture, but I only shared it with my immediate family. And I wanted to post it. I swear I wanted to post it, but I was like, am I going to come off like I'm bragging? And I just really chose not to. And I want to ask you guys, have you ever thought about posting something and you decided not to do it? I didn't share it.
Absolutely. I'd be lying if I said no. Absolutely.
And,
I've
and
been in
and
that
a lot
spot.
of people, even some of my other coworkers and other people, were like, well, when did you get this car? I felt like it wasn't my job to go around like, look what I went out and bought. Like, that's just not me. You know what I mean? And
I want to ask you, why did you feel people would think you're bragging? Because your intentions to post is not because you are bragging. Your intentions was because you're proud of your. I remember when you bought that car, honey. You were proud.
I work hard.
You.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
She was worried about their perception. She was worried
Right.
about their perception.
But you
She was
should.
worried about perception.
I was
But
wondering, why
TK,
did you post it?
yeah, if you would have just put what you just told us in the comments, in the caption, I worked really
Yeah.
hard. This was on my vision board. I accomplished it. God is great. Look at what I helped me. Look at what I've done after I didn't think I was going to. Like, and that's what I've started to do. If you're gonna look at my pictures and you're gonna comment, then make sure you read my caption, because my caption will probably clarify what you would think about with the thing.
Exactly. People don't
You
read.
just put that in. You put that. You give praise or thanks or whatever it is in the comments, in the caption. I'm sorry, to the post. Maybe there's an understanding now. They can get more of the
Yeah.
bigger picture. Oh wow, I didn't even know this person thought it looked like she's bragging from the picture, but now I realize she worked real hard for it and she's happy.
Right.
But
And I
Right.
think
I'd be
the
lying
new
if I said
And I
Yeah,
did
go ahead,
that vision
Shonda.
board party with her. So I got it. You know what I mean? I understood. And like I said, if she, even though what you said, Ryan, if she would put in the caption, I put it on my vision board. Not that even then, people don't need explanation, but so that they don't assume things, you would need to give them a little bit of context.
Right.
So because I saw you put that on your vision board, I was so happy for you. Everything that I accomplished on my vision board, you were happy for me. So you have to just, not that you have to post it, but when you
Yeah.
do decide to post something, don't think about how somebody's gonna feel, unless, like I said, unless you know it's rude or disrespectful. But it's your accomplishment. Can't nobody be offended by your accomplishment.
Thank you. And
They
and
shouldn't be.
you guys are making me feel better, but I really went back and forth. Should I post this? Should I not post it? And I just chose not to do it. And I did, and I even drove around and picked up people. They were like, when did you get this? I just felt like it was bragging if I started calling everybody to tell them. And by the way, Ryan, I ended up getting me a Mercedes-Benz coupe.
Hey,
But it was I worked
It's
hard,
cute,
and that was
honey.
my
It's cute.
that was my dream car, and I worked hard to get where I
good for
am.
you, bro. Bro,
Yeah.
I just thought about something. I just looked at, because I remember when I posted a picture of my new Palisade when I bought it last year or whatever, and I just realized something else that I thought about, which was, I post a picture of me. You made me think about when I post a picture out on the jet ski or whatever I'm doing. That this
Yeah.
is my life now, man. It ain't
Yeah.
it ain't bragging. I'm just sharing. This is my life now. This is the level that I'm on. I work hard to get there. This is where I'm at.
That's
And then,
right.
hey, if you want to enjoy this with me or be happy for me, here it
I
is.
know
If you
that's
don't,
right.
kick rocks, bro. This is the level I'm on. This is where I'm at. This is not fake. I'm not fronting. This ain't a rented
Yeah.
private jet. This is just I'm sharing my life, yo. You're like, you
Right.
can get on this level or you can keep it moving. It's not bragging. I'm just so blessed and happy and glad. I want to share it with the people that
Come
Yeah.
on. 'Cause
like.
every
It's
time
it's
I
also
get a
it's
new
that
wig, I
too.
post about it, honey. I'd be happy.
A new wig.
Selling the wig,
Ryan
yo.
But
said
I
bragging
get in the wig, copy girl. I say, y'all know her name. This is whoever. Baby, listen. When I get in the wig, you gonna know about it, honey. I be proud of my wigs. Y'all better post y'all accomplishments.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, whatever, man. Like it's my
Okay.
life, bro.
Just
Well,
know, let me just put a disclaimer right here.
yeah.
Just know that next year, April 2023, God willing, my
Yeah.
son signed his NFL contract. Y'all gonna know about it. Trust and
Hey,
believe.
for sure, dude.
I'm
That's
gonna
your
be on,
son. Look at Tarika.
You
and
bet.
then I'm
Look,
deleting my
look at
social
Tarika.
media.
Shonda, look at Tarika's.
Uh-uh.
I'm
Look at
not doing
Tarika.
this
That's
today.
crazy. Oh my God. I'm on
Everybody,
vacation with my
first of
family.
all, Ryan, y'all go to Ryan's Instagram page, and he got pictures of him out on his boat and on his jet skis,
Hey
lady.
Tarika, do you follow me? Because you've seen the pics, but I don't think you even follow me. A
She's
lot
a
of y'all
part
be
of paying
going
the
over there
purpose.
creeping, boy. A lot of y'all over there looking. A lot of y'all,
Exactly.
what they call that?
She is a
Stalker.
part of paying the purpose, Ryan. She
Stalking.
follows you. She sees.
My
She sees.
friend
I
Julie
bet.
said,
She sees
talk
it.
your ish, TK. I'm a believer in posting accomplishments if that's how you feel.
I
Let's
agree with
see.
Julie
Let,
100%, but why she ain't capitalize I'm? She put I'm.
Ooh, I know that.
That's a capital I, sweetheart. You are capitalized.
That's
I.
right,
That's you.
Julie.
Capitalize that.
And Tasha said, if they are not happy for you, they are not happy for you. Good point, Latasha. Guys, I mean, but you guys made
Terry,
me
yeah.
feel,
You should
you
feel
made
good.
me
You
feel
should feel.
so much better
You should.
about my decision. But all right, this is the last question before we end on this topic, and I want y'all to be honest.
Hmm.
I saw this movie. Have you guys ever seen the movie Vacation? It was like the modern version of what, oh my god, I can't remember the movie with Chase. What's his name?
Vacation, Chevy Chase.
Yes.
But
So they
Vacation
made
with
a
Ice Cube.
modern version of it, and
Is that
there's
with
a
Ice Cube? Who's in
no,
Vacation?
no.
I
What
don't
am I
remember.
thinking of?
The
I'm thinking of Car Ride or something.
Lampoon Vacation. My mom knows this. She made me
Yeah, yeah,
watch it when
yeah.
I was a teenager. But anyways, there's a scene in this movie where someone posted on social media, and she told her own best friend. She was like, yeah, you didn't like my photo. Yeah, she noticed when someone didn't like it. So this is what, and I want the truth. Do you post? Look at Shonda, because I know I'm gonna tell the truth.
I
Do
didn't say
you
nothing.
post? Do you post a picture? And audience, I want to know the same thing. Do you post a picture? And do you worry about how many likes do you get? And do you also notice who doesn't like your photo? Because I
Ugh.
do. And I'm going to tell you what I do with them. Go ahead, Shonda. Do you
Okay,
really pay attention?
so I don't worry, but I do click.
Okay.
It depends on what it is. It depends on what I'm saying. I will, like, if I see someone that doesn't necessarily always like my photo, I'll go click and say, they like my picture? Like, for what? Now, I have clicked, and depending on the picture, depending on the content, I will see who didn't. Like, so if I felt someone should,
Ooh.
I'm like, you know, one of them. But
Ooh.
it's not like a I'm gonna block you type of thing, because it just depends on what the content is. Like, I can't remember right now. I wish I had an example in my head, but I've posted stuff and I think that someone in particular or whoever may have or should have liked it. And I don't know. It sounds crazy, but yes, I have checked. I'm just leaving right now.
Tell the truth. I
I
do
don't
it
worry
too.
about it though.
I do it
I
too.
don't make it like a big deal. Like, oh, they ain't like my post. I'm mad. No, but I have looked. I have gone to check to see what it is.
And Ryan.
It sounds like you're talking about on an individual basis, Shonda, where there might be one person that comes to mind, and you're wondering if that one person liked that particular post. That's the only thing I've ever done. I look at
Yeah,
my comments and my likes more as analytics at this point. My
yeah,
page is public, everything's business oriented, so I only really look at the number of likes almost as feedback. How much traction is that quote getting? How many likes is that picture getting? And family gets a lot of likes on my page and whatnot. So I don't look at it as how many numbers I want to get for myself. I look at it as how many people actually like that type of
Yeah.
post or whatever it is. But as far as individuals, it's only on a case by case basis. You know,
yeah.
if I've been talking to a girl in the past or a particular person, I'll be wondering, well, did she like that picture or not? But
Right.
I can't
I
think of
do it
checking.
too, Ryan.
I can't think of checking for people to see if
She's
people
so
like
silly.
individual people. Yeah. Now I will. Now this is what I have done. Call it petty. I have seen other people post things
Uh-huh.
that either were the same or similar. Like I've looked to see if somebody liked mine or commented on mine. If they had something like I'd try to see what's going on there. Like if there was
Yeah,
either it
yeah.
was
To see if
taken
they,
from it
yeah.
or stuff like that. But I don't spend a lot of time on that too much at all.
All right. Well, I'm gonna tell y'all what I do. And I only do it,
What do you do?
I clean my friends list maybe every 3 months because I feel like I'm just that cheerleader. I love cheering people on. Shonda knows this. So if you're my friend, and that's what Facebook is supposed to be, right? That's what they say. It's friends, it's followers.
Just thought
So
of something.
when they
Yeah, me
post
too.
something, I'm gonna make sure I like it. I'll comment,
And
especially
you
if you
do.
guys
You
are
sure
close to
do.
me. But I feel like there's those lurkers, and I'm gonna call them what they are, lurkers,
Yeah,
because
for
you are
sure.
on my page. But I do notice that you don't ever like my photos, you don't
Okay.
ever comment on
True.
anything. So why are you on my page?
Yeah, no
So
doubt.
every now and then I do go through and start deleting folks off. Because if you are not there to do, that's what we're supposed to be doing, is liking each other, commenting. It's to keep us connected. So are you trying to tell me you see my picture? Because I know you see it if we friends. You just gonna
TK,
scroll by? You just
I'm
gonna
gonna
scroll
send I'm gonna send you a post. That's exactly what you just said, which is something like post a video and it gets 1,200 views, but only 50 likes. Best believe what this tells you is they might not be liking it, but they watching.
by? Come
But
And
on
that's
see,
what
now.
we're talking about.
so
And that's what they do.
I was gonna say the same thing, but we also have to take into consideration the how you say algorithms,
Yeah.
Yeah.
because there are people that I have 100 so many followers,
They don't
and
see
honestly,
everything equally. Some gets pushed to
right,
some gets pushed to others. Right.
because I had someone tell me, "You don't never like my stuff." I don't want to see your stuff, and I
Right.
Yeah.
don't see their stuff because I've never liked their stuff. I guess if I liked it, it will fall into my news feed and
It
I'll begin
will.
to see it.
Right.
But I never have liked their stuff, and they got offended because I don't like it. I said, I honestly don't see it. Oh, I know you
Right.
saw me post my so and so passed, or I know you saw me post. No, I didn't see
Didn't
it.
see it.
And a
Right.
lot of times I go on social media, I post and I get off. I'm not there scrolling through
Yeah.
the news
That's what
feed.
I just thought
You know what I'm
about,
saying?
Shannon.
So some people assume that because they saw you on Facebook a second ago, you had to see what happened 10 minutes ago. And that's not necessarily true. And I had to take that into consideration too when I don't see people. If I'm liking your stuff all the time, you better go on my page and like mine. Like if I'm liking yours all the time, I need to see a like or a heart or something, sometime or another. But I
Yeah.
have
But
to
that's a
really be paying
team effort,
attention
man.
to you.
Support. Yeah.
Right. I have to really pay attention to, and that's another, don't talk about support, because some business owners and people who,
Mm.
like, I sent requests to like my page and they don't, and they send me a request to like their page. Decline. We're not doing that.
Yes.
We're gonna support
Yes.
each other
Mutual.
equally or don't
Right.
support each other at all. We're not doing that.
Right. I
TK,
am a number one hype woman.
she is hype. I
She
thought about something
is.
real quick. TK, I thought
Yeah,
about
tell
something,
me.
and that is I move different on social media, so it almost isn't fair. I thought about it, and this is like for my own good because I know
Okay.
how they can get. But I move different in that I have my business account. My Instagram is I use it as a business account because it's really where I push content out. It's not personally to. I'll interact with people who follow or who comment, but relative to that. But also I don't follow. I don't follow everybody. That's not a follow back account. So
Gotcha.
I follow like 20 people, and most of them are inspirational figures that I follow that I
Yeah.
want their content from a specific standpoint. So I have a
Let me
separate
go see if
private
Ryan
account.
following us, TK. Let me check.
I
He,
I think I'm following all you guys, or if
yeah,
not, I'm
he
following
does
Talk
because
Miami. I'm following
he
Talk
likes
Talk
our,
Miami.
yeah, he
I'm
likes
following
it.
Talk Miami, and I
Okay.
don't really even move on Facebook because it's so much. But I have a separate private account where I'll follow to keep up. I can go in there. That's where I kind of just dead time. But that's for me to operate as best I can. Otherwise, I'm all on every page. I'm always thinking about and worrying about and whatever the case is. So I move different. So it depends on the person too, and you shouldn't have to feel obligated. If it's a tit for tat, like Shonda's saying, that's good. I'll support you, support me. But then you get sucked into that, and then it's consuming you when you could be focusing on your business or your venture. So
Yeah.
you got to put it out there for people that they want, whoever
All
wants it.
right. Last question. We're gonna go around the room, and I just want one answer, Shonda. One.
One word
Not
or
a
one answer?
not a sentence, just one word to
Oh,
describe why you post on social media. One word.
you
You
can't
can
do
sum
one
it
word
up.
any. I can't do one word
I'm gonna
anything.
go first.
One word.
I post because I love motivating others. I do. Like
That's
so,
a whole sentence, TK.
I would use motivation. So
Okay.
give me a sentence and then sum it up in one word. I love to inspire people.
I
Go.
post because, as I said earlier, it's my party, and I can post if I want to,
Ooh, 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 ooh. Don't
and I can post what I want to.
when I want and
I
how I
have
want.
learned that I'm not explaining myself to people who don't matter anymore.
Oh, on that note.
So either like it or unfollow. We have a this is a what you call it, a free world. You ain't gotta follow me.
Oh, oh, oh.
That's how it should be.
Is she talking to somebody, Ryan? Is she
No,
Yeah, talking to everybody. That's what she's talking to. She's talking to everybody.
everybody, exactly,
all right,
everybody.
Ryan?
So
Why do you post on social media?
I post to grow, to connect, and to inform, really. I mean, that's why I'm posting. I'm posting to put information out there to connect other people to each other, to connect the content I have to somebody who needs it, to try to grow and get bigger so I can reach more people. I mean, really, I'm just trying to find out who's drawn to what I do, who connects to what I'm doing, and who can I connect with to maybe help. And you talk about inspiration, you talk about education, you talk about informing people. That's really the vehicle in which I try to put a message or a vibe or an intention or perspective out there so they can catch wind and start to kind of avalanche and gain some steam because that's the world we live in now. It's really my message and my where I'm coming from, and that's the vehicle. That's a megaphone that you're screaming through now. It has to be done on that in that context. So it's really about reaching other people and informing other people and connecting with other people and with like minds or even with different mentalities, different perspectives, because that's growth. Growth is you tell me how you see things, I see how I see things. Oh, we both see them differently now. We've grown, and then you share that, and
Yeah.
that's probably not one word. That's why I told you throwing you a shot that that's gonna
TK,
happen. But
But
I
no,
do want to say because I have my
sure.
business page, I have a business Facebook and a business Instagram. I have a
same thing. You probably do the same
nonprofit
reason.
business and nonprofit
Hmm.
Instagram. So on all three, for
It's
all three
different.
entities, I post differently. Of course, with Paying the Purpose, I post to encourage and motivate because I'm always speaking to survivors and victims.
Mm.
And I'm also
Mhm.
speaking to potential sponsors and current sponsors. And then for my business page, I'm posting because I need your coins. I'm posting advertising, I'm marketing, and I'm posting because I need business. I need to show what I do as Queen Crafty.
Right.
So it just depends
No
on the
doubt.
page, but three different
Absolutely.
pages, three different reasons.
I can say this generation is lucky because back in our day, you literally had to fly or go in person to do an interview. Now, everything to me, social media is your business card, it is
Mhm.
your resume. So be
100%.
careful what you post because it does, to me, it's a reflection of who you are.
Mm.
If you go on my page, you could tell I love God. You could tell I love my family and I love to inspire. I really do think that social media describes who you are.
Whether
By
you
the
realize it or not, whether you mean to or not, though, too,
yeah,
whether intentionally or not.
Absolutely. So, guys, thank you. For us to end the show, I have to turn it over to the one and only man that is on this show because it's time to have some real talk with Ryan David. Of
Hey,
course, let's
yo.
have that real talk with Ryan David.
Okay.
Ryan, what do you
Uh-huh.
have for us today? Uh-huh.
Hey, listen, man. Real talk tonight. I want to talk about something that's near and dear to just about all of us, and that should be at least family. I want to talk about this weekend. Actually, I wasn't sure what I was going to talk about, and then I spent some time this weekend real close to my family. I'm with my dad, my stepmom, my sister, her husband, and their 9 month old. And I spent some time. This is the most time I've spent with their baby. I came up shortly after he was born. Spent the day and then went back home and then saw him at Thanksgiving. But really just spending like 40 hours with this kid, this 9 month old kid, with my family around as well. It just some realizations. I don't have children of my own, but growing up and spending time, obviously, my career in the education system, I spent years and years around kids, from 4 to 18, 19, 20 years. You pick. But babies and little babies, toddlers, infants, like I haven't spent a lot of time around, especially one real close to me, so I can see the intimate workings of how family is around a little baby and a child. So, like, real talk tonight, I just want to really talk about something that I realized that I think, in the grand scheme of things, I don't think a lot of people understand or emphasize or prioritize. And that is, we talk about society, we talk about our culture, we talk about things that are going on, from whatever the evils are and the behaviors that you see, how people conduct themselves, what's going on with the youth, all those things, guys. It's not rocket science, man. If you look at how fragile a life is from the time that it's born up through its teenage years, you look at those first 5 years, and I look at what it takes to raise this kid, properly and healthy. You can just get by with a kid, and they'll be a disaster when they get older because they didn't have the fundamentals. But when I look at really what it takes to do right by a child, when you look at the help that you need to have around you, when you look at the love, the attention, the support, the care, it's amazing that anybody really has the opportunity. I should say it's really amazing when you think about, let me do it the other way around. It's unfortunate when I see how many people that I see end up with these struggles in life, and I always wonder and I think about, well, childhood matters, but now I know, man, it's a lot of work. And I think if we prioritize and we emphasize how much work and effort and care it is to raise a child, and we started prioritizing family a lot more, we'd understand how precious it is and how much of a sacred blessing it is to have a kid. I don't think we're really putting enough emphasis on how important this is. This ain't no Barbie doll, man. This ain't no Cabbage Patch Kid. I had three of them, by the way, two black ones and a white one growing up. My mama did me right. But it's not a doll, man. It's not a game, man. These are people in their most infant stages,
Yeah.
and they rely on other grown people to make decisions, to
Yes.
embolden them and
Yeah.
empower them, and build them to be effective members of society. We can't just take for granted because they don't know how to talk or they don't know what's going on. They'll be fine. It's 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Those are the years, man. If we don't do right at those years,
That's
they
right.
start getting into elementary school. You're pretty much done. There's so much fundamentals that don't be getting laid for them. And I just spent time around him, my little nephew Turner, and I'm just seeing how, man, if it's this hard for my family who's been blessed and they're fortunate and they have each other, if it's this hard for them at moments, at times, and I don't mean like horribly hard, but it's a challenge. I can't imagine people having children in circumstance situations which they can't, there's no shot they're going to be able to raise this kid with everything this kid needs. We need to
Yeah.
start as a society prioritizing and really emphasizing how critical family is, how important it is to have people around that child, and how
Mhm.
delicate and how much you need to care for a child in its early stages. So, real talk for me tonight, that's just something that was really on my heart that I think is really important. And again, I don't have children myself, so I haven't really personally felt that. But just looking at what my boys do,
Family.
my friends, how much they care and their family units and stuff. And now I see it and I get it. And I look at this and it's like, man, we need to start prioritizing this a little bit more as a society, bro. And then we stop wondering why it's a mystery that all these people really have all these issues when they grow up to become adults. I promise you,
Yeah.
you trace it back to their family and their
Come
childhood.
on.
And I get a lot of things happen, it's unfortunate. But if we still try to, as a community, as a neighborhood, as a community, as a village, start to emphasize this and teach our youth, hey, yo, you need to really focus on you before you become a parent. And I just think that's not really preached enough and talked about enough, I think, widespread. So, real talk, that's really what I had to say tonight.
Oh, and he's
Awesome.
with That's awesome. And he's with his family. I spent time with my family. We had a
He's
family
all
trip.
sentimental and stuff
I,
today.
I
It
know
just
we've
matters,
never
man. If I
seen
don't say
Ryan
that,
like
if I,
this.
it just matters a lot. And because I
Yeah.
don't really have, that's why I'm so thankful to be a part of y'all's show. I don't really have an outlet. I mean, I could do a YouTube video on that,
It's
and I
your
probably
show
will.
too now, Ryan. Don't you do that.
But this is raw. This is raw, real talk. This is not a scripted YouTube video. This is raw,
Yeah.
real talk. And it's just something that recently was going on. And I thought, let me share because it's so relevant. You guys have a platform here. So I just figured it was there. So let me share it. And I just think it needs to be
Awesome.
said. It needs to be screamed from the mountaintop. You know what I mean? And all you
Yeah.
can do is your best. All you can do is
That's
your
right.
best. You know what I'm saying? That's it. I just think we should prioritize our best at least.
And I'll be
So
honest with you, speaking of mistakes, I'm a parent, Shonda's a parent, and there is no Bible that teaches you how to become a parent.
At all, child.
I live by good decisions and mistakes that I've made. I'm not perfect, but it's taking ownership and accountability. I could just try to be the best mother that I
for
can be.
sure. And Tika, I
Yeah.
think that the challenge is a lot of times when we're born, and this is really how it
Mhm.
works. When you have a child, your blueprint and your Bible, whatever you look at, is how were you
Mhm.
raised? And unfortunately, a lot of people don't have the blessing of being raised in a healthy home, so they
Mhm.
Right.
really only know what they know. And at this point, we need to start telling people, look, no matter how you were raised, no matter what you dealt with, here are some resources. Teach yourself about what is be a parent for you do it, no matter how you were raised. That just needs to be the conversation, I think, more than
That's
it
And it's
right.
is.
people need to, well, people or some people, you're either going to raise your kids on how you were raised
Mhm.
or
Make a
because of how
decision,
you were raised.
make a
So if you do not
difference. Yeah,
like how you were raised, you're going to either raise them differently or raise them how you know.
we should talk about it.
I always commend my husband because he wasn't raised by anyone. I take it back. He had a grandfather until he was 14, and he
Yeah,
lived.
see, man.
After that, he raised himself. He lived on the streets. George had a rough life. He was shot 4 times, 4 or 5 times. I
And that
Mm.
ain't
actually
his fault though, you know what I mean? Like that's not
exactly,
on
and I
him, you know what I mean?
actually pulled a bullet out of him that was in
Mm,
him for
Oh,
15 years, and it extracted
wow.
itself.
mm.
And I worked for a doctor at the time that told me how to take it out because it started to make like a boil. And I pulled the bullet out, and that bullet was in him for 15 years. But
Wow.
you can't tell by the way he's a husband, the way he's a father, that he was never raised by his father, and that he never had, that type of family unit around him for a long period of time to know
Yeah,
how to be a father. So you got to make a decision in your life that you're not going to be how you were raised if it was bad. If you know
right.
you didn't like how it felt, if you
Yeah.
didn't know how that felt, you didn't like it, then don't put that on your kids. And
Yeah.
as
Yeah.
you say, TK, we are parents. I've made several mistakes, and
Yeah.
I've also talked to my children, apologized to my children because
Mhm.
what I thought was a good decision at the time was a mistake. But I'm
But you
glad
only know now. You did the
my
best
yeah,
you could. You can
You
help
did the
them.
best you could.
exactly. My kids are adults now. Gigi just turned 18 and Sean and how many children is child? 24 and 20 something. I don't know. But
Right.
I'm able to talk to them as adults.
Yeah.
And we
Yeah.
talk about things. They laugh and they tell me stuff that they used to do. You know what I mean? And I just thank God that even though we gave them the best life that we could at the time, that we're able to talk about those things now so they don't take what the bad things and to
That's right.
their new families that they're going to soon build. So that was awesome, Ryan. I think family is so important. So
So
important.
important,
So,
man.
so important,
So
Ryan.
that
Thank
so
you
that
so
you
much.
have, yeah, so that you
Yeah,
have that parachute, so you have that safety net, you know what I mean? Just so we have that conversation, we emphasize family. Even if you have struggles, you have people around you that care, that
that's
they
right.
know what's going on. So, I get it. You come from where you come from, or you have your background, or you have your parent, but we need to just be telling the children before they even get in that situation. Having a child is a serious commitment, bro. And if you're not
Yeah.
ready as an individual because of your parents, get right, make the decision now.
That's
But that's
right.
the conversation. This is not just no haphazardly. Oh, I think I'm gonna randomly have a kid, and I just, side note, I don't mean to go on a tangent or a
No,
rant, but like I
I don't
think
ever thought what's
there's
meant to
almost
be. Go.
it just it seems like it's a movement nowadays, almost when you look at it,
Yes.
and you could almost see
Gender
a movement now
reveals
where
and
it's like, look, we don't need family because we got the government and social media and the internet that'll raise your kids for you. It's like,
yeah.
no, that's not how it should
Ooh,
work.
Yeah.
ooh.
I
A
don't
lot of
like that.
people think that the raising your child or having a baby stops at the gender reveal. It
That's
stops, especially
ridiculous.
young kids. You don't realize what's going to come after that. Even not even after that baby time.
Mm-hmm.
Postpartum is something serious, but that's a whole other
All
topic.
that stuff, but all that stuff
Postpartum is
comes
something
with it.
I
It's a
experienced.
package deal. But you
Yes.
need family, you need people, you
Yeah.
need components. It ain't just like you're gonna
Exactly.
be able to do it solo. It ain't gonna happen, for the
Right.
child at least. You can get by using the government and the internet and just shut. But the kid suffers, man. And then we have
Yeah.
society looking like it looks, and you wonder why. It's
You
because we
Yeah.
wonder
have
why.
millions of parents doing what they're doing, which is for them. They're not thinking about the baby.
Right.
I don't know. That's really what I was thinking about, TK.
Yeah, Mama Gloria said, "Hi,
That was
Mama
awesome.
Gloria."
Mama
She
Gloria,
said,
we
"Yeah,
love you. I was gonna
we
shout
love
out earlier.
you." She said, "Don't carry generational traumas forward." Ooh, that's a
No,
whole
man, be
nother
mindful.
conversation.
Keep it on
I
Jesus.
remember watching a show, and you brought this up, Shonda, and we'll end on this. There was a judge. There was two brothers, and their father, I guess, was very abusive, and was an alcoholic. And one of the sons ended up being just like his father.
Wow.
And then the other son did not.
Mm.
And the judge asked him, what was the difference when y'all was raised under the same household? He said, because I looked at my father and didn't want to be anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, TK, I seen a
It's a
post like that,
choice.
and they said there was the judge was the alcoholic, right? He had two
Yes.
sons, and they asked the one son, "You're nothing like." He said, "You're just like
Yeah.
your dad. Why are you just like your dad?" He said, "Because my dad was an alcoholic." They asked the other son, "You're nothing like your dad. Why aren't you like your dad?" He said, "Because my
Yeah.
dad was an alcoholic."
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And it's how you look at it, right? It's that perception.
Yeah.
He didn't want to be like it. And that's a whole nother story. Don't get me
It
talking
is.
about mentality, because some people don't know what's wrong. Some people don't think it's wrong because that's what they saw their whole life.
You know, I talk to survivors a lot, and I talk to them about raising their children, because a lot of survivors say, well, I'm staying because of the kids. You're raising them in a household where there's abuse, and your children are either going to be abusers or victims when they leave that household. So you have to make a decision to take your kids out of that environment. You're not helping them or saving
not in
them
that environment. In that environment, you gotta go.
Yeah. So that's all on the topic. But I was just piggybacking on what you said. A lot of times, with families, they stay in situations because of the kids. You can't stay because of the kids, because that's
not if it's unhealthy. If it's unhealthy, that's the X factor. You gotta go.
Exactly.
That's a good word.
Yeah.
Well, guys, thank you. It was an excellent show tonight. We'll be back next Monday. As a matter of fact, no, we have one more week until 4th of July. We're off.
I think so.
But we have one more week. Next week, Cindy will be back tonight, guys. Send Cindy some love. She's at her concert tonight. Her new group, and they actually aired tonight, and they're singing their new solo and their new album. So Cindy, we miss you.
Love you.
I know, right? We cannot wait to see you. She'll be back next week because she will be your host, and she can't wait to join us. She tells us in the chat that she misses us. But guys, make sure same time, same channel. We're not going anywhere. We just need you. And this is where you can follow us. Make sure that you follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We go live every Monday. Make sure you subscribe to that YouTube channel and go ahead and hit that bell to make sure you get notifications every Monday night at 8. And then you could also follow us on our Talk Miami podcast, wherever you can listen to podcasts, especially on Spotify, iHeartRadio. You can listen to us on Apple and Google Podcasts at Talk Miami Talk Show. Guys, it was a pleasure. Did you guys have fun?
Good show.
Shonda,
Really
I saw
good
you
stuff.
writing. What you writing, Shonda? She got caught. She got caught writing. This girl.
I'm sorry. I thought the screen was still up. I was right on my calendar the next.
She working,
man. I didn't write it down. I'm sorry.
This girl always doing 5 things at one time. You know what? Bye, everybody. We'll see you next week.
All right, ladies.
Bye, everybody.
Have a good night.
Good night.
All right, y'all. Let me get out of my dad. I'm in my dad's room.